What if everything you thought you knew about Michael Jackson's controversies was manipulated? Let's dive into the hidden battles behind the King of Pop's life and death, involving Hollywood's darkest secrets and shocking industry conspiracies. Michael Jackson was frequently accused of inappropriate actions, which led the public to view him negatively. However, these stories often contained a mix of truth and fabrication, crafted by the media to tarnish his reputation. His sister LaToya warned that much of what was reported was garbage, created by companies seeking to exploit his fame and control his career. But that wasn't the whole story, because Michael owned half of Sony's publishing catalog, a prized asset that made him a significant target in the industry. He had serious conflicts with Sony and ultimately decided to leave the label, which angered the company. This power struggle is believed to be at the core of attempts to discredit and destroy him. And what Jim Carrey revealed will shock you even more. Jim Carrey publicly defended Michael Jackson during the height of the backlash against him, calling out the media's hypocrisy. In a resurfaced 2003 interview, Jim revealed warnings he gave Michael about powerful industry executives orchestrating smear campaigns. Carrey described these figures as soulless monsters hiding behind contracts and cameras. But the story continues to unfold, deeper and darker, challenging everything we thought we knew about MJ. The media smear campaign against Michael Jackson. Throughout his career, Michael Jackson was consistently targeted by the media in a relentless smear campaign designed to tarnish his reputation and shape public perception. The allegations of inappropriate behavior, particularly involving children, were sensationalized, creating a narrative that painted him as a villain. Many people accepted these stories as fact, often without considering the context or the motives behind such reports. Numerous articles, filled with inaccuracies, blended truths with fabrications to make headlines and hook audiences. In one instance, his sister LaToya warned the public that a staggering 90% of what the tabloids published about Michael was, in fact, complete garbage, designed for shock value rather than truth. The media had established a pattern, an ongoing saga that turned a gifted artist into a misunderstood figure. This was not just an isolated incident. This campaign was a deliberate effort to manipulate the public's opinion, using sensationalism to create a guilty image. While Michael faced criticism and accusations, the truth was often obscured, buried beneath layers of misinformation released by corporations seeking headlines and profit. This manipulation is particularly disturbing when you consider how much Michael Jackson contributed to the world of music and culture, yet his legacy was shattered by unfounded rumors. Ultimately, the media's actions contributed to a toxic environment, affecting not only Michael's career, but also his mental well-being. Unquestionably, this smear campaign serves as a cautionary tale about the power of media and their ability to shape narratives, regardless of the truth. Michael Jackson's battle with Sony Music. Michael Jackson's tumultuous relationship with Sony Music is a tale of corporate power plays, immense talent, and surprising betrayal. In the early 1990s, Jackson made a pivotal decision to invest in his own future. He acquired half of Sony's music publishing catalog, a strategic move that put him in a powerful position within the industry. However, this ownership, which included hits from various artists, turned him into a target, as ownership of such a valuable asset made him susceptible to attacks from those who felt threatened by his control over the music they produced. This was not merely about ownership. It was a deeply personal battle against an industry that sought to control him, both artistically and financially. Despite his massive success, including groundbreaking hits and record-breaking sales, Jackson frequently clashed with Sony executives. He claimed that they often disregarded his creative vision, prioritizing profit over artistry. As tensions rose, Jackson grew increasingly vocal about his discontent, leading to a very public fallout. He accused Sony of exploiting him, and even likened them to greedy corporate entities that misconstrued his intentions. In interviews, he expressed a deep-seated distrust, stating that those in power would go to great lengths to maintain their control over the industry, even at the expense of artists like himself. His struggle reached a crescendo when he announced he was parting ways with Sony and reaffirming his independence. This decision, though empowering, was fraught with risk, as it alienated him from established forces within the industry. Ultimately, Jackson's battle with Sony represents the conflict between artistic integrity and corporate greed, a struggle that resonates far beyond the music world. Jim Carrey's rare interview and defense of MJ. In a rare and candid interview, Jim Carrey spoke out in defense of Michael Jackson during a time when many in Hollywood had turned against him. Carrey, known for his comedic talent, took a serious stance, criticizing the media for its relentless attack on MJ's character. He articulated that, despite the disturbing allegations against Jackson, he had never believed the accusations. Carrey pointed out the hypocrisy of those who readily accepted the media narrative without questioning its validity. He described the media as vampires who thrive on sensationalism, feeding off the misfortunes of celebrities. With conviction, he emphasized Michael's artistry and humanity, urging people to look beyond the headlines. Carrey stated, "I respect his accomplishments and hope he is strong enough to overcome all of this." His support didn't just stop at words. He hinted at darker forces at play, suggesting that the accusations against Jackson were part of a broader scheme to diminish his influence. This undertone of conspiracy raised eyebrows and sparked discussions about the lengths to which Hollywood would go to control its stars. Carrey's statements echoed a sentiment shared by many of Michael's fans, who believed that the King of Pop was unfairly targeted and painted as a villain. The interview resurfaced in light of new revelations about Michael's struggles with industry giants, leading many to reflect on the deeper implications of Carrey's words. As fans revisit this exchange, they are reminded of the complex relationship between fame, media portrayal, and the personal battles faced by icons like Michael Jackson. The suspicious circumstances around Michael Jackson's death. On June 25, 2009, Michael Jackson passed away under chilling circumstances, which continue to raise eyebrows, nearly a decade later. Just the day before his death, his personal physician, Dr. Conrad Murray, administered a potent sedative, propofol, to help Jackson sleep. However, the events that transpired after Michael fell unconscious have led many to speculate foul play. When Dr. Murray left the room for a brief period, he returned to find Jackson unresponsive, with a weak pulse. Instead of immediately calling for emergency help, Murray delayed contacting 911 for nearly an hour, a decision that later contributed to public outcry and suspicion. By the time paramedics arrived, all attempts to revive Jackson were futile, and he was pronounced dead at 2:26 p.m. This tragic timeline not only led to Dr. Murray's conviction for involuntary manslaughter, but also left fans questioning the circumstances surrounding Jackson's death. Was Murray simply a scapegoat, or was there a more intricate conspiracy at play? Reports indicate that Jackson had expressed concerns about his safety, even hinting at fears that someone might harm him. Additionally, multiple witnesses have raised doubts about the integrity of the security personnel surrounding him during the fateful night. The lack of immediate care and the odd behavior of his staff has fueled theories of a larger scheme, suggesting that Michael might have been targeted due to his status and influence. This web of suspicion continues to linger, begging the question, was Michael Jackson's death truly an accident, or is there a deeper, hidden truth waiting to be uncovered? Michael's security team and their mysterious ties. Michael Jackson's choice of security personnel, particularly his head of security, Fahim Muhammad, has raised numerous questions and suspicions. Hired just 10 months before the King of Pop's untimely death, Muhammad was a relatively young man, about 20 years old, with no prior experience in security. This choice seems odd given Jackson's immense global fame and the need for extensive protection. Allegations have surfaced suggesting that Fahim had connections to law enforcement, raising eyebrows about his potential ties to larger, more sinister forces within the industry. Furthermore, his presence on the night of Jackson's passing adds an unsettling layer to an already tragic narrative. Many fans have speculated that he might have been involved in covering up critical details about Michael's demise, further complicating the story. The lack of seasoned security personnel, along with this mysterious figure, paints a concerning picture of Michael's last days. When we delve into the deeper implications of this situation, we find a landscape rife with conspiracy theories. Fahim's close ties to influential figures in Hollywood, combined with the timing of his recruitment, suggest that he may have been part of a broader strategy to control or even silence Jackson. This situation evokes broader fears regarding the safety of celebrities, leading many to ponder whether they are merely pawns in a game orchestrated by hidden hands. The implications of these mysteries stretch far beyond mere negligence. They suggest a calculated effort to navigate an entertainment landscape fraught with danger, manipulation, and betrayal. Jim Carrey's fallout and shocking revelations. After publicly defending Michael Jackson, Jim Carrey faced significant personal turmoil, leading to a major fallout from Hollywood. His girlfriend, Cryona White, tragically passed away from a suspected overdose, just 1 year after Carrey had spoken out against industry practices. Almost immediately, Cryona's ex-husband filed a lawsuit against Jim, accusing him of providing her with the pills that led to her untimely death. However, Carrey vehemently denied these accusations, hinting at a deeper conspiracy aimed at framing him. He stated, "What a terrible shame. It would be easy for me to get in a back room with this man's lawyer and make this go away. But there are some moments in life when you have to stand up and defend your honor against the evil in this world. I will not tolerate this heartless attempt to exploit me or the woman I love." Additionally, this incident marked a turning point for Jim. He seemed to withdraw from the public eye, focusing on personal projects like painting. In 2022, he announced that he was leaving Hollywood for good, citing the pressures and dangers of the entertainment industry. Reports emerged that suggested powerful entities were actively trying to silence him, just as they had done with Michael Jackson. This growing tension highlighted the belief among fans that there are underlying currents in Hollywood, manipulating performance artists to maintain control over narratives. As Jim Carrey exited the limelight, many began to see his statements in a new light, viewing him as a potential whistleblower. The connection between his fallout and Michael's legacy remains one of the most troubling and intriguing aspects of their intertwined stories. The Illuminati, Hollywood control, and hidden messages. In the heart of Hollywood, where dreams are made and broken, lies a shadowy underworld believed by many to be controlled by a secret society known as the Illuminati. This group, often associated with greater power, manipulation, and a quest for control, is speculated to wield significant influence over the entertainment industry. Numerous celebrities have hinted at the presence of this elusive organization, suggesting that their every move is closely monitored and guided by unseen forces, with intentions often shrouded in secrecy. For instance, Jim Carrey, in various appearances, has implied that entertainers are utilized not just for their talent, but also as pawns in a much larger game. They distract public attention from real issues, while corporate interests manipulate narratives to maintain their dominance. Carrey's statements raise eyebrows, especially when he describes Hollywood as a breeding ground for those in power to exploit artists for their gain, forever keeping them under their thumb. The perception that these puppeteers manipulate the very essence of artistic expression resonates with many. Rumors persist about coded messages and symbolism hidden in films, music, and public appearances, creating a complex tapestry of conspiracy that fans avidly dissect. For example, symbols thought to be linked to the Illuminati appear in various award shows and films, tantalizing viewers and sparking discussions about their true meaning. As the lines between fiction and reality blur, the question remains, how deep does this rabbit hole go? Are artists truly aware of the games being played? Or are they simply unwitting participants in a grander scheme far beyond their understanding? Unanswered questions, and the legacy of MJ's story. Michael Jackson's story continues to raise many unanswered questions, even years after his passing. The King of Pop was a phenomenal talent, but the controversies surrounding his life, as well as his untimely death, leave behind a legacy clouded in mystery and speculation. Fans and analysts alike ponder whether Michael was a victim of powerful entities that attempted to silence him for breaking barriers in the music industry, during a time when he was deeply entrenched in a battle with music moguls, such as Sony. Questions about the true nature of his relationships with those in the industry persist, and many believe those closest to him may not have had his best interests at heart, which feeds into the narrative that he was constantly under threat. The circumstances surrounding his death in 2009 continue to fuel theories that suggest he could have been purposefully taken out to eliminate a formidable opponent in the music industry. Moreover, Jim Carrey's allegations of a sinister group controlling Hollywood and their potential interest in Jackson further complicate the narrative, making it hard to draw definitive conclusions. With every passing year, as more details emerge and stories are retold, the intrigue deepens. Meanwhile, Michael's influence on music and culture endures, and discussions around these unanswered questions keep his spirit alive in the hearts of his fans, inviting new generations to explore the complexities of his life and legacy. As the facts slowly unravel, one can't help but wonder what else lies beneath the surface, hidden away in the shadows of a brilliant career that was ultimately marred by tragedy. Michael Jackson's life and untimely death remain shrouded in mystery, and as more details emerge, the questions surrounding his legacy grow ever deeper. His battles with powerful industry figures, coupled with the media's relentless smear campaign, paint a picture of a man who is both a cultural icon and a target. Jim Carrey's candid support for Michael and revelations about the entertainment industry suggest that the truth is far more complex than we realize. The idea that celebrities can be framed, silenced, or even harmed for their outspoken views is alarming, yet not entirely surprising in a world driven by fame and power. As fans continue to piece together the narrative, it becomes clear that Michael Jackson's influence and the circumstances surrounding his life may reveal a disturbing reality about the darker side of fame. Will we ever fully uncover the truths that lie beneath the surface? As we reflect on Michael's legacy, let's remember the artistry he shared with the world, while also questioning the forces that sought to control and diminish his light. The echoes of his story will resonate for generations, reminding us to look beyond the headlines and seek the truths that may lay hidden beneath the surface.